Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. I am going to talk a little bit about something really scary that happened to me the other day, and I may not give the details, but I'll talk about why. What I really want to share with you today is the effect of stress and how to know when you're in it, how to know what it's doing to you, and how to recognize when you need to shift out of it. So if you're new here, let me start by introducing myself. My name's Heather Mays. I'm an intuitive counselor, animal communicator, energy healer, author, artist, teacher, and I'm on a mission to empower and embolden others to connect with their divine radiant light and honor the sacred connection with all life. So, my friends, 2 or 3 days ago, I think it might be 3 days now, had a very terrifying experience happen. Now, it was a threat to personal safety, health, and that's all I'm going to say about it. And I'm not doing that to be coy. Here's what I've observed with years of my personal experience and working with people for decades. Sometimes it's kind of our nature to, when something bad happens, to go and tell a bunch of people about it. So I could have had this thing happen. It was specifically one of those fight or flight moments, and we'll talk about that too in a little bit. I could have come back from it and called everybody I knew and said, oh my gosh, you won't believe what happened. I could have shown up here and given you the details of all of it. But here's what that does. And here's why I would ask, maybe try the next time. Hopefully nothing terrible happens to you. And you don't have these kind of fight or flight situations or these things. It doesn't even have to be to that degree, but something that is less than you want for yourself. Let's just put it that way. Do you kind of gossip about it and talk about it? Because what that does, if I were to come back and have told 10 people, then each of those 10 people is picturing that scenario in their head for me, and it's amplifying all of that energy in the quantum field. So if I gave the details, here's what happened, da, 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 I tell 10 people, they're all picturing it clearly because I'm amped up on adrenaline. I'm gonna really give some great details and I'm gonna really sell it. So now they've got a very clear picture and everybody is picturing me in that same situation that I just got myself out of. I would rather, and perhaps you would too, I would rather people envision positive, wonderful things happening to me. If you're gonna put that energy and tie that energetic cord to someone, picture the highest and best good for them. So sometimes when we come back and we're looking for solace or we're looking for comfort or we're just looking to discharge and dispel some of the energy that was built up from kind of a situation that got us all amped up, we go and we talk about it a lot, and then that kind of bounces back that same energy. Even if we don't think that someone picturing the scenario is a bad thing, they're still recertifying kind of the emotions that you are having of fear and adrenaline, fight or flight, all of that. So that's why I'm not going to tell you details. I got out of it. It was very much a fight or flight situation. Worked out, honestly, kind of miraculously for the best and highest good. So I'm leaving that there. But here's what I want to talk about. What I noticed with myself was when I got home, you kind of go through this situation, right? And you put your energy where it needs to be to get yourself through it. And then I came home, and that's when it started to hit me that, okay, that was actually really quite scary. And your mind, or at least mine did, kind of went into the what could have happened. This could have gone wrong. That could have gone wrong. If it didn't happen that way, it would have looked like this instead. And I kind of crumpled into just tears of extreme gratitude and just needed to release. So in the moment that the situation happened, my body switched on the fight or flight mechanism. So that sympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system got kicked into overdrive. Like if you picture a gazelle being chased by a lion, the gazelle has to harness all of her power all of her presence of mind, she has to really narrow her focus to amplify everything in her body, to move faster, to be aware of her surroundings, to get herself out of danger. So when we're stressed as humans, and it doesn't have to be something extreme, this is kind of what I want to talk about. When we're stressed, our body kicks in that fight or flight. And so we're marshaling all of our available resources. We're sending strength to all of our muscles. We're hyper focusing on what's in front of us and what's dangerous. We're looking to identify what's dangerous in front of us. And it's not a time for our bodies to rest, digest, create, or heal, because we've taken the available energy and we've put it in the kind of oh shit category, right? So, and that's fine. That's a biological mechanism that serves us very well. Most animals, most biological beings can reset after that. So you go in fight or flight, you do what you need to do, you run, you flee, you hide, you reset. The gazelle, 15 minutes later, is grazing on some grass. But as humans, what we have that is unique to us is the ability for our mind to create a stressful situation, whether it's happening or not. So if you look around right now in the world, this is me looking around, there's a lot of stress. We have news coming at us 24 hours a day. This thing is terrible. That thing is terrible. Oh no, over here, panic for this. And it just so happened that around the same time frame that the incident for me happened, we were also preparing for the winter storm that hit the southeast of the United States right now. So it's snow, it's ice, people need to prepare. I'm not saying that. And let me also say, if you need to talk about a trauma that's happened with you, I'm not saying don't have those discussions, but be careful with who you're investing that energy and that story with. So back to you don't want to talk about your story to a lot of people. Please don't misunderstand me. Sometimes we do need to actually talk things through. I just mean in the gossipy, oh my God, kind of a way. Okay, sorry. Back to this. So it was a tropical storm or winter storm, and everything on the news and online was, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be so bad. Everybody's going to lose power. There's going to be 6 inches of snow. We'll be immobilized. It'll be terrible. Now, I'm not saying people don't need to prepare and know what's coming, but what happens in our society right now is there's no break from that. We don't switch that off. Somebody picks that up on the news and then they post on their Facebook page, oh my gosh, I hope everybody's gonna stay safe. Be careful, don't drive, don't do this, don't do that. And it just, pun intended, snowballs into this big energetic stress ball. And we're just inundated with those kind of things. The winter storm was just an example, but because we have 24-hour-a-day news and we have social media that's available at any time of the day, we are inundated with these things that switch on our fight or flight mechanism. If we don't learn to turn that off, if we don't understand what that feels like versus what the rest and digest parasympathetic side of the autonomic nervous system feels like, then we just are stuck in it. And here's the thing. Those chemicals that are produced in your body through fight or flight, like adrenaline, they feel kind of good. You come back from being pumped up in adrenaline and you think you're the queen of the world. You can do anything. You can lift a car off of a kid. You know, that kind of thing. That's where that comes from. That's what adrenaline is for. But it's addictive. So if you think of going to a sandwich shop and your body in fight or flight mode is saying, okay, that group of chemicals, that biology that was created in my body as a result of that adrenaline, that was a tasty sandwich. That was really good. I don't really want to reset. I kind of would like to have the turkey sandwich again. So what can I go back and order in my life to get those same flavors, to get those same chemicals, to get that same kind of goodness in my body that the adrenaline gave me? And so we end up manufacturing situations. We call the ex on the phone because we want to reinforce that feeling of not being needed, because that really amps up our fight or flight. Or we stay in the job that is kicking our ass because we need that. I need that little I need that fight. And if I don't have anything to fight against, then I'm not eating my turkey sandwich anymore. So I just want you to be aware of what that feels like. So for me, I came back, I was amped up, crumpled into whatever, thought I was resetting because I'm energetically aware, and I did a pretty good job of it. I went and had a normal day the rest of the day. But what I noticed, probably 10 or 12 hours later, was this is the end of my day now and I'm ready to go to bed, but I needed to be a little extra vigilant. I needed to make sure I didn't have any text messages that needed my attention. I needed to extra carefully and thoroughly check my emails. I needed to make sure the doors were locked, even though it wasn't anything to do with that. I needed to make sure I looked okay. I have a cut. Is that a bad cut? Is it going to get infected? And then you go on Google and you look for all the symptoms, and you know how that goes. You kind of get ratcheted up in this panic and this worry. And I realized that was not me. I'm not normally like that. That was my body saying, hey, we missed that turkey sandwich. We want that adrenaline. That was kind of fun this morning, chemically speaking, for us. What can we do? Can we make her worry about her health? Can we make her worry about her safety? Can we show her how bad the storm's going to be again? Let's show her that. Let's let her look at the ice forecast. There's all these things that your body tries to trick you into doing. So luckily I recognized that, and I kind of thought, okay, no, we're not doing that. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to reset. And then it was okay. The next morning was still a little wonky. Things were just off. I burned toast in the toaster, and the cell phone had water in it and wouldn't charge, and I've never ever seen that before. So there were little things that kept popping up in my environment to still poke me. Are you ready to be stressed? Don't you want some more adrenaline? Don't you want another turkey sandwich? Come on, it's good. So why I want you to be aware of this is those stress chemicals, not only are they addictive, but they are proven to down-regulate genes. So what that means is they suppress genetic expression, and they start to wear you out at a biological chemical health level. So when we are looking to be healthy and we look back and we've had a lifetime of living in fight or flight because we're addicted to those emotions, our bodies have had no time to heal. There was no available energy. All our energy was spent on making that turkey sandwich, on finding that adrenaline rush, on getting those emotions that reinforced that chemical and dosed us with it. So you gotta step away from the things that are causing you stress, or get really, really good at resetting yourself to the rest and digest part, the parasympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system. And I remember it as it's your parachute, parasympathetic, or it's like a paramedic coming to help you, parasympathetic. So as you go through your day today or the next few days, just pay attention to, are you looking for things? Because again, our bodies are really crafty. Are you looking for things to reinforce that feeling of stress because it's familiar, because you're addicted to those emotions? And maybe you're not, and I've come in front of you and presented all this information and you're like, no, I'm good. That's awesome. Good. I'm so excited for you. That's fantastic. But there might be some of you out there who are like, oh, maybe I am kind of calling the certain friend every day because we complain together and it feels like we're on the same page. That feels good when you have somebody who's in your camp. But maybe what we're actually doing is amping each other up. Maybe there's another way we can be in a relationship together. Or maybe it's Mercury retrograde. That's when we all start calling the exes, right? We all kind of look for things to revisit and solve again. Maybe you're chasing that down not for resolution, but to reinforce something. Rejection, fear, loneliness, something that brings you stress, because that stress hormone, that turkey sandwich, is really tasty. So just some information to be aware. I am fine. Thank you. The situation resolved perfectly, like I said, miraculously, but it was still a biological thing that my body needed to go through. And since I just experienced it, it was kind of eye-opening to see that kind of reverberation of it hours later. And I saw it for what it was, and I'm so thankful for that, so that I didn't kind of go down that path of chasing down stress that I didn't need. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope you found it helpful. I will see you next time. Have an amazing day. Bye.